Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to walk you through building a transformer from scratch in PyTorch. Most engineers treat transformers as black boxes, calling high-level libraries without understanding the math. I have seen this take down production systems when custom shapes or masked attention logic is needed. This one concept is the difference between a junior engineer and a senior architect. Let us break down the architecture that powers modern AI. From the input embeddings to the final softmax layer, we will code it all. We have a packed agenda. We start with the core problem of sequential processing, move through the architectural definition, and then dive deep into the PyTorch code. Specifically, we will cover the attention math, the block structure, and critical debugging steps. These are the topics we are going to cover in this video, so do not skip ahead, watch all the way through to actually understand this properly. Quick note, before we dive in, this channel shares practical IT tutorials every week, so if that is useful to you, hit subscribe and join our WhatsApp community linked in the description for more resources. So why do we need transformers at all? Think about this. In a traditional recurrent neural network, you process data like a relay race. Each runner must pass the baton to the next. If you have a sequence of 500 words, the 500th word must wait for the previous 499 calculations to complete. That is a massive bottleneck. In an online translation platform serving thousands of requests per second, this approach simply cannot scale. You end up with multi-second latencies that ruin the user experience. That is the fundamental problem. Now, what is a transformer really? It is an architecture that ditches the sequential relay race for a parallel approach. Think of it like a library reading room. In an old system, one person reads one book, then the next. In a transformer, you have an entire team of experts. They all sit at the table, look at every single page of every book simultaneously, and exchange notes about how the information connects. They do not wait for one another. They look at the whole context at once. That is the power of the self-attention mechanism. Before we write a single line of code, let us make sure your environment is ready. You need a stable environment. I recommend Ubuntu 22.04 or Windows 11 with the Linux subsystem. You must have Python 3.10 or newer. Verify this by typing the command shown on screen. You also need PyTorch version 2.0 or higher. If you do not have these, install them first. Finally, get your terminal or command prompt open. We are going to build this step by step from a clean slate. This diagram shows how the transformer works internally. Data starts at the input embeddings, where words turn into vectors. It flows into the multi-head attention layer, where the model learns relationships between words. Then, it passes through a feed-forward network to refine those features. Finally, the output probabilities are calculated. This is the sequential flow of data, but internally, the attention layer processes everything in parallel. It is elegant and incredibly efficient for modern hardware. We need to install the core library. Use the pip command shown on screen to pull in the PyTorch suite. After the installation completes, run the second command to verify that the library is correctly imported and reporting the right version. If you see the version number printed, you are ready to move on. Perfect. Let us get into the core concept of attention. This is the expected output. If you see a version number like this, your environment is correctly configured. If you see an import error instead, go back and ensure your virtual environment is activated. Now, let us build the attention layer. Here is the core logic. Notice how we define the number of heads and the head dimension on lines 5 through 7. This is crucial for splitting the attention. Then, on lines 8 through 10, we create the linear layers for keys, values, and queries. These are the matrices that the model learns to focus its attention. Without these, the model would just be a static calculation. This code sets up the structure so we can process different parts of the sentence in parallel. It is simple but extremely powerful. Now let us see how we handle this in a production scenario. When you instantiate the class, this is the structure you should see. It confirms that the linear layers have been created with the correct dimensions. If you see mismatched features, it usually means your embed size is not divisible by your number of heads. Let us keep going. This is what a production-grade transformer block looks like. We use layer normalization to keep the gradient stable. Notice the feed-forward section. We expand the dimension by 4, apply an activation function, and project it back. This is where the model learns complex feature patterns. Also, observe the skip connections or residual connections where we add the original input to the output. This prevents the vanishing gradient problem in deep networks. That is exactly how senior engineers design these blocks. The output shows the block successfully initialized. You can see the layer norms, the attention mechanism, and the sequential feed-forward network. If the input features do not match the expected dimensions, PyTorch will throw a runtime error. That leads us to the most common mistakes. So why does this error happen? It happens because your input dimension and your weight matrix dimension do not match. The first number is your batch size times sequence length, and the second is the feature size. If these do not align, the matrix multiplication fails. You must ensure your embeddings are consistent throughout the model. The fix is simple. You have to print the shape of your input tensor right before the linear layer. If it is not what you expect, check your previous layer. Use the print statement to debug the tensor dimensions at every step of the forward pass. This will save you hours of debugging. Here is a real example. An e-commerce giant serving 5 million users needed to fix their recommendation engine. Their standard libraries were too slow. By rebuilding their transformer block from scratch, they optimized the memory usage. They dropped inference latency by 40% during peak sales. That is the kind of impact you have when you understand the architecture. Now, when should you actually use this? If you are doing standard NLP tasks, stick to pre-trained libraries. They are optimized. Use custom implementations only when you need specialized attention masks or have extreme hardware constraints. Do not try to maintain custom code if your team lacks deep debugging experience. The maintenance cost of custom code is significantly higher than using established frameworks. Make sure to review each point shown on screen carefully. Let us wrap up with the key takeaways. First, remember that transformers are designed to process parallel sequences, solving the relay race bottleneck of older architectures. Second, self-attention is the engine that weights input data dynamically. Third, residual connections and layer normalization are the secret sauce for training deep models without losing gradients. Fourth, always debug by printing tensor shapes, as matrix mismatches are the most common error. Finally, custom implementations are a specialized tool for optimization, not a replacement for standard, well-tested libraries. If you found this video helpful and you think it can help others in the community too, please do like and hype the video. It helps more people find this content. Hit subscribe to stay updated for our regular videos. Join our WhatsApp community using the link in the description, where we share more practical IT resources every week. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. If this video helped you, hit like and subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel grow. Join our WhatsApp community linked in the description for more practical IT resources every week. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.